Alright, so Star Wars Maul Shadow Lord. I actually forgot that this show was coming out, but trust me when I say that this show is a surprise, but a welcome one. The show takes place, I'm gonna guess, around either 2 or 3 years after Order 66, but is definitely around that time during the post-credit scenes for the Han Solo movie where he was featured and he was a underground criminal mastermind. So this is Darth Maul that's kind of still in his prime, still pretty young, rather than the older version we see in Star Wars Rebels. So the plot for this show is just that Maul wants to take revenge upon all the crime lords or mafia bosses in Star Wars, whatever you want to call it. And he wants revenge on them because they used to run under his rule while he was with the Crimson Dawn and everything. So they basically betrayed him when he needed them the most. Now, we didn't see what moment that was exactly just yet. It's only the beginning of the show, but I'm sure we will. But Darth Maul is just out for revenge, trying to get revenge on everybody who did him wrong. And Maul's revenge isn't exactly anger like it would have been during the Clone Wars, where he's like blinded by the rage of the dark side. Instead, he's more calculated, more cold, and he's so strategic to the point where things will just play out for him or things will just fall into his lap. But with this in mind, he's still the same Maul or Darth Maul that we all know and love, and his cold and calculated approach to this revenge doesn't take away from the fact that he still has presence and aura, and he still intimidates everybody he comes across, and you could just see that so well on the screen, just with this darker tone and atmosphere that they're going for this show. And on the side, there's this Force-sensitive character that's pretty brand new, and Darth Maul is trying to recruit her as an apprentice. So this interests me because this reminds me of when Darth Maul tried to recruit Ezra in Star Wars Rebels. Now, I think this show is the origin story of why Darth Maul was obsessed with recruiting somebody in Star Wars Rebels. So maybe something happens here, maybe something didn't go to plan, and he's like, well, I just gotta try this again in Star Wars Rebels. So this is kind of an origin story of how Darth Maul got to the point up to where he was within Star Wars Rebels. And I have a theory about this whole apprentice thing too from Darth Maul, and is that the Force-sensitive character that's new, she's resistant at first in joining Darth Maul's side because she knows about him, so she's not going to be easily persuaded to join that. But since she comes from nothing and she basically is at the point where she has to beg or steal food, she might just find herself going back to him just so she can make that money that she couldn't make before for her and her other former Master Jedi, Frog guy. And then somewhere along the way, something big will happen, and then that might cause her death, or that might just cause her to just permanently leave the show for whatever reason. And that's where Darth Maul fails. Because remember, this is a prequel, and this is before Star Wars Rebels. So I think this whole show is that Darth Maul is going after revenge, but in that process, he's gonna kind of lose everything. And then somehow he's gonna be back in that Sith temple where we see him first in Star Wars Rebels Season 2. So yeah, overall, I give this show so far a 9 out of 10. Even though nothing too big or groundbreaking happened in the first 2 episodes, this show still has a lot going for it. There's a lot of mystery. There's a lot of lore to see that we haven't seen yet. And then also the art style, the music is just beautiful. They have the old classic Clone Wars animation style going, but much more HD this time around. And some shots look so good in the show that it looks like it's actually part of a live action series or movie, which is great to see because Clone Wars animation has come a long way. If you look at the very first Clone Wars movie, animated movie, and then you look at this show, they've come a very long way. So it's safe to say that this show has piqued my interest in Star Wars again, because the last Star Wars project I watched was The Acolyte, and that one completely turned me off. But I'm glad this show is in the hands of someone who actually knows what they're doing with Star Wars. Whenever Dave Filoni is involved, we're in good hands. That's just a fact at this point. So that's gonna be it for this review of episodes 1 of 2 of Star Wars Maul Shadow Lord. If you've seen it already, let me know what you think in the comments. And until then, I'll see you guys in the next video.